Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. My name is Dennis, and yesterday it was exactly 13 years ago that I co-founded a foundation called JustDiggit, an NGO. And today I would like to show you what we are doing, especially in Africa. And before I start explaining, first the situation. Probably most of you really know, but there is seriously a sense of urgency. You know, we only have 30% landmass on our planet, and that on itself is totally degraded for more than 50%. And the degradation is happening in a frightening speed, day in, day out. And, you know, we know that we will grow in population, and still the ecosystems are running backwards. So there is a big urgency, and we need to try to restore as much as we can. And, you know, we are all in it together. So everyone should try to be helpful to this huge mission. So solutions exist, and actually it was investigated by scientists that nature-based solutions are one of the biggest solutions for our climate issue. So it's 37% to the solution. So we need to restore as much as we can. Our focus with JustDiggit is Africa. We are now active in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Togo, Madagascar, and Ethiopia. And, you know, Africa is huge. It has 54 countries, and 32 countries are really in the need for ecosystem restoration. Before I start to explain a bit more deeper what we do, first a short video.
Global warming is moving in fast, and we only have this decade to slow it down. Hi, we are JustDiggit, here to regreen Africa and cool down the planet. By restoring degraded land, we bring back vegetation and have a huge impact on water and food security, biodiversity, livelihoods, and our suffering climate. We've been doing this from the ground up, hand in hand with local communities and partners in Africa for over a decade. Because regreening is done together. In Kenya and Tanzania, together with local communities, we dug hundreds of thousands of water bunds, or, as we like to call them, earth smiles. So rainwater can enter the ground, turning dry land green again. Our grass seed banks are women-led. Maasai women regreen the land, sell the seeds, and create their own social enterprises. Together with Lead Foundation, we inspire farmers to recover trees with a technique called tree covery, also known as Kisiki High. Selected farmers are trained to become champion farmers, so they can go back to their villages and train thousands of other farmers. We then visit these rural communities with a movie roadshow and inspire them through film, music, education, and dance. At the same time, we share our message in all forms using mobile phones, radio shows, murals, billboards, TV ads, and influencers. Over 10 million recovered trees are now alive and kicking in Tanzania, and hundreds of thousands of hectares of land are brought under restoration in East Africa. Spreading the word is the path to better soil fertility, more crop yields, improved lives, and a cooler microclimate. That's why we are scaling up regreening through communication together with partners like Havas. In Africa, we use positive storytelling to empower farmers to regreen their land and improve their lives. In Europe, we touch the hearts and minds of people with engaging campaigns, inviting them to dig in. Meanwhile, we join forces with other organizations in African countries such as Togo, Madagascar, and Ethiopia. The next big thing will be the launch of our mobile app. With this app, farmers are empowered to regreen their land themselves, wherever they are, without the need for on-site organizations or trainers. We are building a regreening movement, together with farmers, NGOs, ambassadors, brands, institutions, and you. This is the decade of doing. So let's do this. Dig in. Cooling down the planet. Just dig it.
So let's dive a bit more into the methods that we have been using for more than a decade now. Water harvesting, Marco just said it. This technique is pure wisdom. It's as old as humanity. It has been here for more than 8,000 years, and it actually works really well, and it's so much needed because rainwater harvesting can be seen as an automatic way of reforestation because, you know, water is life. In Africa, but also in many other different continents, there is a topsoil problem because of massive deforestation, overgrazing, monocultivation, etc. So the rain is coming down in Africa, but if it's not able to penetrate into the ground, then it's a big loss of a wonderful natural resource. You create floodings and even more damaging of the fertile soil. So water harvesting, we do this big time, and they can do the work themselves. It's really not that complex. Here you see the semicircular bunch. It's like a mini dam, and as soon as the rain comes, then the earth can absorb the water like a sponge. So a simple shovel creates a huge chain effect only with positive things, because in the system we bring back hundreds of millions of liters of water. And water also runs subsurface. And as water is running subsurface, you know, Mother Nature kickstarts herself back into green, and you can do this, you know, at large scale. And it's very successful. Water harvesting really is an automatic way of reforestation. And then the other one has always been here for a long time. Tree covery, or farmer managed natural regeneration. It's not rocket science. You need to prune the trees that have been deforested over 70 years ago. For 17 years we have been deforesting Africa like crazy, but still the living stumps are there. If you are in Africa, you see all those deforested trees, but actually they are alive because the root system is still there. And if you give it attention and you manage those trees, you can bring back the tree in a relatively short time. And this is what we have been doing also for more than a decade. And in the video it said 10 million, but it's already almost 15 million. And then we also do grass seed banks. We sow, we harvest, and we sell grass seeds. And this on itself creates revenue, which is really cool. And also we now are upscaling this with funding from the Green Climate Fund. And the impact is amazing. On the ground, you know, vegetation comes back, you hold water, biodiversity comes back, the wildlife is coming back. We touch upon the CO2, of course, temperatures are going a little bit down, and especially, you know, for food and water. It's so important to have these kind of techniques in Africa. This is the result until so far. We trained 240,000 farmers, restored more than 300,000 hectares of land, and the trees, you know, it's counting every day. And now the thing is, it's still too slow, you know. We need to upscale, and we believe from JustDiggit that communication is going to be very important. And since day one, we are building this movement by doing campaigning and a lot of media, marketing and communication. And now the challenge for us is to make sure that in many African countries, farmers know about these solutions because they need to do it themselves. And just like David Attenborough said a few years ago, it is a communication challenge. And this we already knew when we were starting JustDiggit in 2009. We truly believe in the power of communication, and therefore we have been building these media partnerships with Havas at the global level, JC Deco also at the global level, and many more. And they all want to be part of this movement because, you know, we are all in it together. And now in Europe, we are active in these countries. And it's only about positive storytelling. It's awareness and the fact that solutions exist. And out of becoming a brand in Europe, we have corporations, you know, with beautiful organizations like Timberland and Rabobank and IKEA Foundation and much more. We are slowly becoming this famous sort of brand with our iconic shovel. But then again, it's even more important to build this movement in Africa. And that's what we are trying to do based on this model. We want to inspire, educate, activate, empower millions of farmers in more than 30 countries for the coming decade. And seriously, there is no time to lose. And as we speak, we are doing it already. We have wonderful documentaries that can be seen on National Geographic, but also Canal Plus and Canal Digital. Our latest documentary with the title The Grand African Green Up has been already seen by hundreds of millions of Africans. It's a wonderful documentary and it shows the solutions. And we do movie roadshows. We train farmers, and together with those farmers who live in rural areas, we organize roadshows. And that's an event on itself. So we really go deep rural Africa and we organize these kind of events, and then we tell and we show the solutions. And again, it's not rocket science, and it's the farmers themselves who are doing the storytelling within this event. And besides that, you know, we add more. We work with radio stations, influencers, we have so many billboards, television, and of course our digital mobile app. And even, you know, we have rurals. We said to ourselves, you know, if Coca-Cola can be seen in the most rural area in Africa, why can we not? So even this we are doing to communicate the solutions. And we added music and events, because that is such a powerful language in Africa. We created Rain Dance, and this was only a pilot. We did it in 3 countries. We did it in rural Tanzania, in rural Kenya, and the first events were a success. We had so many big artists already on stage, and automatically they became an ambassador for the restoration work that needs to be done. And now it's time for even more scaling up, because this is our Earthshot. The coming years we would like to try to reach out to 350 million farmers, knowing that Africa is, you know, the population is growing so fast. It has now 1.3 billion and it will double in 25 years. So we dream big, and this is our ambition, to reach 350 million farmers. And we try to do this with this new mobile app that I'd like to show you now.
Imagine if we could inspire them to regreen their lands using simple mobile technology.
The Regreen revolution has started, since restoring nature is proven to be highly effective and scalable. Also, the mobile revolution has truly started in rural Africa. Mobile networks are growing rapidly, and there are more internet-enabled phones every day. We have created the first mobile regreening platform to make our knowledge accessible to rural communities without the need for trainers on site. It empowers farmers to regreen their lands independently, wherever they are. JustDiggit has also created a movement reaching tens of millions of people worldwide. Together with these partners, we can launch nationwide campaigns reaching farmers anywhere in Africa. The platform already provides tested and effective mobile regreening tools and knowledge. Now we need to further develop it to keep it engaging and relevant for the farmers by integrating social elements such as gamification. Every farmer with an internet phone could start restoring nature and become a regreening ambassador. Let's regreen together.
So now is the challenge to communicate this mobile app, and we came on with this idea because football is so popular in Africa, and we have a strong idea to make sure that top of the bill football players from Africa like Mane and Sané and Drogba and others, we are now in negotiations with them to make sure that their voice and face will be in our campaigns, because they are so iconic. And we need to have those iconic people within our campaigns, because then you can really reach, you know, a few hundred million Africans. So this will be launched somewhere next year, Team Regreen, and we truly believe that this will go, it's going to be a game changer. And we really look forward to the coming years to really, you know, try to activate and empower a few 100 million farmers to make sure that they are regreening the land themselves. So thank you very much for your time, and I wish you a pleasant stay. Thank you.